Good evening. Thank all of you so much for being here tonight. Today is November the 2nd, 2021. Our thought for today is a positive attitude causes a chain reaction of positive thoughts, events, and outcomes. It is the catalyst and sparks remarkable results. That's author unknown. Go ahead and officially call this meeting to order tonight. Invocation, I think I'm going to do invocation tonight, and I'm going to ask Commissioner Sanders if she would lead us in our pledge tonight. A couple of people we want to pray for. Tommy Davis, he lost his niece in a let's just say he lost his niece in Macon. The tragic event happened down there. Also, we want to pray for Miss Jackie's husband, Mr. Buck. We want to make sure we keep him in our prayers. And Mr. Adams, Mr. T.K. Adams also, we want to make sure we keep him in our prayers. Let's pray tonight. Yes, sir.
Could we also pray for the family of Pastor Wood J. Smith, who passed yesterday at about 5 o'clock of the Minister Union?
Yes, sir. Thank you for recognizing that, Commissioner. Wow. Father, we thank you for your grace and mercy, Lord. You're so kind and you're so mighty, and we thank you now, Lord, for all that you're doing and all that you're going to do, God. We pray for Pastor Smith's family, God, and we pray that you comfort them, and we pray for Mr. Davis' family, and we pray that you comfort them as well, God, and we ask, Lord, that you cover the Adams, Mr. TK, God, and you already know about his situation, and God, we pray that you touch his body and heal his body, God. We pray that you touch also Mr. Buck, God, and touch his body and heal his body, God. And then, Lord, ask if you would, Lord, to bless this community that we call home. Such a wonderful place, God, to live in, and we just thank you for it, Lord. And tonight, God, we ask you to bless everyone that's here, their families, God. Bless all the commissioners, the clerk, the county manager, God. We ask if you will, God, to allow us to have this meeting and do what we see best for the county, God. Lead and guide us as we do this work. And we ask all these prayers in your son, Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Wow. Next thing we have on the agenda is the agenda adoption. We do have a few changes tonight. The first one is up under the consent agenda. We got the GNR. It's the appointment of Dr. Melvin Baker to the GNR board. We want to make sure we correct that. It's to the Newton County Board of Health. The Newton County Board of Health. So if you guys would make that change. Also, we want to add 19A. 19A. 19A will be the First Amendment for the design and build of the Ariel Cousins Historical Society Room and Washington Street Community Center. Want to make that 19A. 19A. With those changes, I seek a motion of approval, please. It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Edwards. All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you so much. Next is item number 5, citizen comments. This is an opportunity we allow citizens to make comments about agenda topics only. Agenda topics only. You have 3 minutes to do so. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. Agenda topics only.
Hi, my name is Ann Newhurl, and I live on Ivan Circle in Covington in District 2. And I want to speak to agenda item number 21. Lloyd Kerr is not a perfect human being, neither am I. But he stepped in to the job he's in right now when asked, and brought order to our county operations, much like Megan Martin did when she became attorney. And since this board screwed that up so bad, I sure hope that nothing happens to Mr. Lloyd Kerr. His evaluation should not be on whether a particular person got their way on something they wanted, and that he should not bear the brunt of the blame when somebody else didn't do their job. Last night's meeting seemed to be a way to blame him for the county inactivity on the federal funds. And I hear a lot from some of you about how people are coming to you with needs. Not one of you supplied a list of those to Lloyd Kerr. So do your job and keep him in his job, because he's doing his under very difficult circumstances. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
My name is Gladstone Nicholson. I live at 495 Lakeside Circle in the western part of the county. I have a lot to say tonight, Mr. Chairman, so would you not start the clock yet? Give me some more time. Just a joke. In any case, Ms. Nolly, thank you, ma'am. I think I said you know today. I liked your agenda minutes. Appreciate that. I'll talk fast. I'm going to try and stay on the agenda topic. I have a few questions here, maybe observations, really, and I hope the board might probably take some of them into consideration as you make your decisions tonight or whenever those decisions may be made in the future. I just want to say thank you for the citizens who come up, who volunteer themselves to be on these auxiliary citizens boards. I thank them all. Citizen input is a great piece for good governance. I'm sure many of you would agree. Also, we were talking about the district attorney's budget for that VOCA program. I'm just wondering, will our BOC inform citizens at what point in the budget process were these positions and funds were budgeted? And lastly, were they or are they permanent positions? I don't know. You always see money coming. You want to make sure that another fiscal year and a third fiscal year it will be there. And I don't know if Barbara Morgan is here yet, but I just want to say their CID group on 78 is a great, 278 is a great idea. And I'm just hoping something like that sometime in the near future may happen on the commercial strip known as Salem Road in the western part of the county. Another comment is there's a company called Ascension Project Management, and they had a contract to build a park in Spring Hill. I'm not sure if it's been done. It's been a while since I've been over there on Upper River Road. I should say Lower River Road. But in any case, does the board know how that firm performed on that job? Was there some kind of ratings that they were given? And lastly, if the board can tell us how many citizens obtain a copy of the annual audit of the JDA. I know it's supposed to be done. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be made public or not, but if it's available to the public without the, what do you call that thing, the FOI procedure, I love it that to be done. And thank you all for putting up with me.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Anyone else? Thank you so much. That ends citizens' comments. Next, you have the chairman's report. I want to thank all of you who came out, all of those who came out to the domestic violence Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. It was a great event. We had a great turnout. A lot of elected officials showed up, and a lot of citizens showed up, and it was a good event. And we know that domestic violence is increasing here in this community, and we want to do everything that we can to help eradicate domestic violence in every kind of way that we possibly can. So thank all of who came out, and thank all the domestic violence task force who also put this together. So it was a great day. I had a lot of people call me and ask me would I wear women's shoes, heels again. I told them if it would encourage some lady, some mother, some sister, some auntie to tell their story, then yes, I would. Anything we can do to help promote it. Also tonight, thank you so much. Thank you for the pictures up there, Brian. We had Newton County High School football team that come out, East Side. I think Commissioner Lena Sanders, she came out. I think she walked the whole mile with us as well. I think the sheriff did. If I start naming people's names, I'm almost forget somebody. I think the sheriff did. I think Judge McCamey did. But it was a great day. It was a great day. Our DA, Randy, he was out, and Randy had his toenails painted as well. Yeah, so he challenged me to do that next time, and I will. So it was a great day for our community, and so we're excited about doing more community events. Thank you. Also tonight, we want to get an update from Mr. Dwayne Mass from our Parks and Rec. They got a lot of great things going on, and we want to bring him up tonight.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Commissioners. I'm just going to give a quick update on what we've just wrapped up and what we've got the rest of actually this calendar year, and then I have one more thing to share with you. We just wrapped up our fall sports. Football wrapped up on this past Saturday. We had 311 participants with our football and cheerleaders. This year we've done something a little different. We actually went in with Walton County. They had Loganville, Social Circle, Monroe, and also George Walton Academy had a couple of teams. So it also allowed us to allow our 11 and 12-year-old kids to play this year, because we wouldn't have had enough to have our own league. 11 and 12 is getting a little harder because a lot of these kids are being able to play middle school now in 6th grade, so it's taken away. But we had a great turnout. Our 11 and 12-year-old team actually won the championship on Saturday, and our 5 and 6-year-old won second place. Baseball, softball wrapped up last week. We had 481 participants in that. Our Miracle League program had 71, and that was up 20 from the spring. So we were actually pretty close back to pre-COVID numbers this fall. Basketball has just wrapped up. Our athletic staff is forming teams this week, and they'll start practicing on Monday. We had 434 sign up for basketball, and 134 of those were 4, 5, and 6-year-olds. So with these kids just starting out in our program and coming up, so that's a good number. One thing I want to say about basketball real quick is we're part of the Junior Hogs program. We have been for the last 4 or 5 years. With that, we get uniforms from the Hogs. Each one of our kids get free tickets to go to. They get about 6 or 7 different games to choose from and get tickets to go. Our coaches, a lot of our coaches went a couple of weeks ago to a coaches clinic that Hogs head coach put on, and the assistant coaches, and they taught a lot of skills. They were actually able to get out on the floor and watch the Hogs practice, so got a lot of positive feedback from them for that, and they enjoyed that. Our adult softball program, we had 14 teams this fall. They actually are wrapping up tonight. So this fall, we've been pretty busy. This Saturday, we have our Fall Festival at Turner Lake, and that starts at 10 a.m. It'll be from 10 to 4. We have over 130 vendors, so if y'all have a chance, come out to that. It's supposed to be cold but sunny. And then December 9th, we'll have our Evening with Santa at Turner Lake. We'll have games, crafts, face painting, cookies, hot chocolate, pictures with Santa. Just bring your cameras. That's a free evening, and it's gotten to where it's pretty popular in the community. So that's kind of what we just finished up and where we headed for the rest of the year. We'll be working on our next year's calendar week after next and getting it put together, so have it ready to go out by January 1st. Last thing is we are a member of GRPA. That's our state agency. And I know Commissioner Sanders has met Steve. And we have 7 districts throughout the state. We're District 6, and our district runs from DeKalb County down to Houston County. And each district each year gives out awards for different categories. So we won an award this year for a special event, which was the farmers market. And I appreciate Jillian. Jillian put that together. She came to me a little over a year ago and asked, she said, we need a farmers market. Can I look into it? And she did all the legwork. She went out to different farmers markets, talked to vendors, talked to organizers, and she put it together. And I appreciate her dedication for that for this summer. And also Denise and Olivia helped her out a lot this summer. So she done it for 5 months, every Tuesday when we didn't get those 4:30 thunder showers. And I think the last month or month and a half, she actually moved to Turner Lake when our softball season started, and I had a pretty good crowd over there too. So I appreciate, and I did bring just kind of don't show all the awards. So I do, like I said, appreciate her hard work and what she's done, and got a lot of exciting things going on. So if y'all get a chance Saturday, come out to our fall festival. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all that you guys are doing over at the rec department. You're growing really nicely, so keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Next on the agenda is the county manager report. Mr. Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple of things that I've got. One of the things I wanted to bring to your attention is this past month was a record month for adoptions out at our animal services. We had 108 adoptions and 58 animals transferred to rescue groups during the past month. So still a lot of success out there with being able to handle the animals that we have and being able to get them in the hands of folks who are wanting to take care of them and to have them adopted out. Also, a couple of other things. Last month was Fire Safety Month. James Franklin, who works with our fire department, is the head of the safety training, and they were able to, with the cooperation of the school system, we educated 3,200 students. And next month at our meeting, we're going to have a special guest, an 8-year-old little girl who, through the education process, was able to learn what to do when her home caught on fire, and she was able to save her family to get them out. So she's going to be here at our next meeting to meet you all, and we'll have something for her. So special, that's really makes a point and makes it all worthwhile to go to that effort when something like that happens. As you all know, our GIS office has spent quite a bit of time with the State Office of Reapportionment and Redistricting so that we can work on our new maps. Want to remind everybody that the next shred day that we have for anybody who's got documents or old checks or whatever that they'd like to have shredded will be November 15th. If you want to contact the Newton Beautiful office, they can give you the locations and the times for that, but that'll again be November 15th. a couple of projects that we have worked on out at Public Works. There was recently a 60-inch cross drain that was replaced on Hayes Pond Road, and the Commissioner Edwards is familiar with. Also, even though we've had a very difficult time keeping people on our trash crew, last month's bag count was over 2,000, and for a total of 14 tons of trash that we picked up off the roads. Guardrail replacement project has been completed, as you all know. Several places around the county you probably had to slow down for traffic to get the guardrails replaced, but that is completed. Negotiations with the property owners for property at the Kroll Road bypass, which is the new road that'll be put in as part of the interchange improvements at Kroll Road and the interstate have begun. So hopefully we'll have that right-of-way all certified here before long. And the last thing here was the Fall Festival that happened over at the Senior Center. I know some of you were able to attend, and that was a good time for all of our seniors. And I think we've got some pictures. If you'll go ahead, Brian, with the next one, please. Update on our COVID. You can see the total number of deaths and the total number of cases there. Next slide, please. We're now up to, there's only been a little over a 0.5% increase in confirmed COVID-19 cases. And now we're at 46.2% of our population's got one dose, 41.8 are fully vaccinated. So we're making a little bit of headway. The Parks and Rec master plan meetings have been ongoing. The last ones were held on the 27th and the 28th, where people had an opportunity to come in and give their input. Next slide, please. They're having a sale, on adoption sale, out at the animal control or animal services building, so please take advantage of that and check there for the times and all. The Senior Services Festival was there. We did have a picture. I don't know quite what happened to it. I guess must have been, oh, here we go. This shows some of the people that were there. They did have, it's fun to go to these because this is a way to help support the Senior Center, because the ladies here were selling ceramics, blankets, crocheted things. So it's also a way to help support the center and support them. And you see the chairman there shopping, and he picked up a few things and actually donated some stuff. And there's me. I did some shopping, and chairman donated some things to be given away. So it was a really good time, and it was so next time they have one of these, I'd encourage all of y'all to go. Next slide, please. The final open house for the transit master plan and study that we had been doing. It's a drop-in open house from 5:30 to 7:30 at Turner Lake. So that open house will to have you come in and give your thoughts. Take a look at the website to see an overview of the draft recommendations, and then once all of that is put together, then there will be a final, recommendation that'll be put together for the county on that project. Bicentennial Events, we did some flag donations to the Board of Education and City of Porterdale. And you can see that there. And of course, Goosebumps was our final movie that was done, the Bicentennial movie presentation down at Legion Field. It was part of the best attended, and was quite a success. And we just want to remind everybody about the Bicentennial Legacy Brick Program. Again, this is an opportunity to provide a lasting memorial to family members or your business or friends $75 a brick, and you can apply, make it the application online, or you can come by the historic courthouse and pick an application up. And that's all I have for this evening, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next on the agenda is item number 8, and that's approval of the October 19th minutes. Seek a motion, please. Seek a motion, please, guys. Thank you, sir. Second. It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Sanders. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. It passes 5-0. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. I seek a motion of approval, please. Thank you, sir. It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you. Next on the meeting, on the agenda is item number 14. Ms. Kathy Morgan is here with us tonight, the administrator of the Highway 278 Community Improvement District. She was requesting a letter of support for the TIP solicitation project. Ms. Morgan. Ms. Morgan.
Good evening. Thank you. I came before you in 2019 to ask for your support and participation of the 2019 TIP solicitation for grants for Phase 1 of the Highway 278 CID, which is Emory Street, which is exit 90 to Emory Street. From that solicitation, we've received 2 grants. The first is for PE final engineering, and that will be let December 15th of this year. We received $464,800 in a grant for a total with our matching dollars of $541,800. And we also received a grant for right-of-way acquisition that may be necessary after we complete the PE, and that is for a total of $685,000, and that monies have been programmed, and as long as the federal government continues to fund the programs, that will be awarded in 2003. Upon receipt of those 2 grants, they told us to reapply at the next TIP solicitation for the construction and the utility relocation portions of the grant. And so that's what I'm here tonight for. The next TIP solicitation has just been let. It's due December 2nd. There is no new dollars. This is all part of the $320,000 that y'all committed in 2019. So I'm just asking you to write another letter of support and continue with that committed dollars. Any questions that you have or don't have?
Any questions, guys?
I do want to say that the DOT is doing safety and operations, which is between $7 and $8 million for everything within the roadway, and that's programmed to start in 2004.
Commissioner Sanders.
How you doing? I just wanted to seek a clarification. So these are additional funds you need from that was in 2019. We're paying an additional 300.
No,
okay.
This is that 320,000.
The one from 2019.
Yeah, it's just
okay.
a continuation of grant application for that matching dollars.
Okay.
Thank you. I seek a motion, please. Okay. It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Henderson. Any more discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next, Mr. Kerr is requesting board approval for addendum to service agreement with Alexander and Thomas Associates. Mr. Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Tomas. Yeah.
Back in 2019, we engaged Mr. Tomas and his company to begin auditing, to do an audit and to review all of our bills, all of the billing for our water, electric, and gas for all of those utility services, and with the intention of determining whether or not we were being charged appropriately. And in that first year that he worked for us, he was able to find a little over $350,000 in savings for us. And in the subsequent years, he's found another $200,000 plus in savings that we've been able to have. So at this point, what we would like to do is to amend his contract to add the monitoring of certain buildings that we have for being able to maximize their efficiency and to monitor the controls of those buildings so that we can continue to save on our utility bills. This does involve the use of some proprietary software that they've developed, and so this would extend or amend the original service agreement from just those utilities to monitor the additional buildings, and also to add our phone bill, or rather our Verizon, to do a review of all of our Verizon bills to ensure that we're being billed accordingly, and to get all of our Verizon accounts under one account as opposed to the 100 or so that we have right now. So, and to consolidate all of those to our advantage. So I'm asking the board to amend that service agreement to provide for that extended service, and to also add the telecommunications to the utility review.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner, I seek a motion, please. Thank you. It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, Lloyd, refresh my memory. I do remember this gentleman coming before us and approving this. How is he paid?
He is paid based on a percentage of the savings that he determines, or that is determined from the bills, and he receives a percentage of that for a specified period of time. And that's based on that utility billing. The monitoring service is a monthly charge based on the number of buildings and square footage and so forth.
So he's, if I heard you correctly, we're somewhere north of a $500,000. So
we
far.
are, correctly, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any more discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you. Lloyd, you're not going to show the article?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I ran off a copy of the press release. I'll be glad to read it out if you'd like,
Please.
Mr. Chairman. Newton County, Georgia government's taken significant, Newton County, Georgia government's taken significant steps to reduce its expenditures during COVID-19 pandemic. In late 2019, the county manager was faced with budget challenges and made the decision to focus cost reduction efforts on utilities, electricity, natural gas, water, and sewer. Kerr stated we had a number of older buildings and some new. No bill audits had ever been done, which is true. None had been up until this point. Utility billing is something that can be very complex. We wanted to make sure that we were being billed correctly and that we were being as efficient as possible with the equipment that we had. The project results were formidable, with no capital outlay and over $500,000 saved to date. For year one, Newton County improved utility pricing and obtained refunds for a total net savings of $354,808, approximately 12% of the total utility expenditure. In year two, the recorded utility pricing reductions and additional recovered refunds resulted in $195,420 net savings, approximately 6.5% of total utility expenditure. Year three, expectations are net savings of $250,000. The process began with the ATA capturing historical utility billing and usage data in the technology platform utility TRX. The first step provided foundation for cost-cutting efforts equipped with utility TRX exception reporting. Jason Johnson, Director of Building Services, worked to mitigate obscure issues that fall below traditional accounting systems radar. Some of the more common issues identified included equipment malfunctions, leaks, and building control optimization opportunities. In the next step, ATA's specially trained team members were tasked with scrutinizing monthly utility charges while optimizing pricing and rates. Finally, utility TRX technologies were used to measure, were used to measure and validate or dispute the energy savings-based invoices for the 2018 HVAC systems upgrades, and this is referring to the upgrades that ABM, thank you, I couldn't remember the name. So that was very much a part of what had been done. Was they, Alex, and as a matter of fact, Mr. Tomas is here tonight, does intercede on our behalf with the utilities company and negotiates with them, and because of he has the ability to argue the bills, whereas I don't, Jason does not. And also can speak the language very well. So that's where ABM had been guaranteeing us said they would guarantee us $425,000 in savings. He was able to prove that they had not provided us that much savings, so we were able to get some money back. Mr. Tomas stated Newton County is one of our greatest success stories. We'll look forward to our ongoing efforts in partnering with the county to manage our utility expenses. Newton County Board of Commissioners is actively considering Phase 2 real-time HVAC oversight that will protect HVAC assets from premature disrepair while reducing maintenance and labor cost, and that is exciting. So in this article just goes on to mention that they are working with the City of Huntsville, Alabama, Huntsville Hospital Healthcare System, Cobb County, and Marietta Water Authority, just among the various clients that they have. So this has been very beneficial. Our relationship with them has been very beneficial to the county. So,
thank you so much. And he's going to, and thank you, sir. He's going to continue to monitor the ABM.
Yes, that will be part of what they will do. We'll continue to take that energy audit that ABM conducts and to do their own audit and to determine what the actual savings have been.
All right, thank you so much. Next on the agenda is item number 16. Facilities purchasing request and approval of revised change order number 1 to the professional service agreement for landscape maintenance services of the 5 Fields lawn care contract. Mr. Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This change order is to add the fire station number 8, which is up on Gum Creek Road, as you know, the roundabout at 81, Highway 81 and 162, the roundabout at Highway 278 and 142, and also the mowing of the practice field over at Cousins. And that increases the total contract price from $204 a year to $118,501.56 per year, and that would be paid monthly.
Thank you, sir. I'll seek a motion, guys. So moved. Can I get a second? Can I get a second? Thank you. It's a motion by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Cowan. Discussion, Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Over at Cousin, I know that you said something about the practice field. Are we talking about the practice field on top of the hill or the practice field down below the backstop? Either or both?
This says the practice field, so I'm assuming that's probably what it is.
The reason why I mention it because I've been over there a few times, especially per constituents' request, and they was concerned about the black mold that's in the DMV. And just literally, and I think if you go on my Facebook page, you'll see where there was a lot of garbage. There was somebody that came and they said they filled the dumpster up and it rolled all on the ground. And then there was a lot of garbage at the Wolverine Field down below it. There was a lot of garbage there. So it's garbage all over papers, not exactly garbage, all around the place. And I kind of felt really bad because there was where a lot of people come from throughout Newton County to renew their driver's license and take driver's tests. And it looked really bad. And I just was wondering, when they cut the grass, do somebody pick the paper up, or do they just cut the grass and leave the paper everywhere? And we need to do better. Because I think this representative of us as a board, when the facilities that we have here in Newton County, Covington, are not kept up.
As I understand it, they had the day that you were there filming, they had a football game the night before, and the rec department personnel had not been over there yet to clean up. So that's why there was still trash on the ground. In regards to the mold that you said was inside of the driver's services building, we have a report from 2020 that DDS requested that shows there was no mold present in there that was dangerous. We also had a mold study done of our own that we just received a report back from, again stating that there was no black mold in that building. So, I'm not sure where you may have gotten your information, but we have 2 reports that state there is no black mold in that building. We also looked at the area in the building that's occupied, which is that entire wing, and then the wing where the wing where the CASA is, which is, I believe, the 3rd wing, and then the front wing where the Department of Juvenile Justice is located, and I think there's an office, there's another small group of people there in that first wing, all of which the report came back as having testing negative for any sign of any black mold.
Well, first of all, could I have a copy of that report, if I may? Secondly,
Yeah, sure.
You said just then that there was some mold, but it wasn't dangerous mold.
We didn't. There was no. And according to the report, there are mold spores of certain types everywhere,
Okay.
no matter where you go. Matter of fact, there's 10 times more mold outside than there is inside of most buildings. But you certainly can have a copy of that report. We'll be glad to give it to you. But like I said, we had 2 reports indicating there's no black mold over.
Okay, so what you're saying is that it may be black mold to the people who work there. In fact, they told me in private, they said, well, they're kind of fearing for their jobs because they said it's kind of dangerous. So you're saying that any mold is okay, just certain kinds are okay, that you can inhale it and it don't grow inside of you?
What I'm saying is the report came back that did not show where there was anything harmful there.
Okay, so let me be clear. What you said, what I heard you say, and you're gonna make sure I get a copy of the report, is that there's mold in there, but it's just not the kind that could hurt you.
That's my understanding of the report.
Okay, well, I don't believe that any mold is dangerous. I don't think you should be subject to, no person should be subject to any kind of mold.
Well, I don't think you'll ever find a building that doesn't have mold.
Just let me say, I would like a copy of that.
This building has mold.
Yeah. Well, we shouldn't be here. It need to be tested.
Well,
We had COVID here and then nobody tested.
Hold on, guys. So, Mr.
But
Curtis-
anyway, just let me say this. I'm concluding, Mr. C. First of all, I think I need a copy of the report, and I think any mold is bad. It's my own personal opinion.
Well, but-
And I think nobody should be subject to it. And if there was mold in this place right here, then Lord, you should make sure to be taken care of.
I agree, but I don't think it's wise to claim there's black mold inside of a county building when there is none.
Well, that's what they said. That's what they told me.
So guys, so Mr. Kerr, you're gonna give a copy of the report? Thank you, sir. I forgot where we were. Is there a motion? Any more discussion? Commissioner Sanders.
Lord, who was the company that actually did the testing?
I'm drawing a blank. It's a company that we have used multiple times. ServPro.
I'm sorry.
ServPro actually
ServPro.
was the one who did it.
Okay.
That's the one who did ours. I don't recall the name of the company that did the state's review.
Can you make sure that, email a copy to all the board members?
Sure, I'll be glad to.
Thank you. Any more discussion? All in favor? Pass 5-0, thank you. Public Works requesting the Board of Commissioners authorization to execute a construction agreement with Peach State Construction Company for storm sewer replacement at Ratcliffe Trace. Mr. Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This contract is for a pipe replacement project at Radcliffe Trace. Peach State was the low bid, $136,850. Response Environmental bid $178,610, and we're asking that the board authorize the execution of the contract with Peach State for $136,850. Chester Clegg, our transportation engineer, is here tonight in case that you have any questions.
Guys, you have any questions tonight? Any questions tonight? I seek a motion, please. Can I get a second? It's been motioned by Commissioner Cowan and second by Commissioner Edward. Any discussion? Chester, would you come up, please? Thank you. Commissioner Edwards. Thank you, sir. Commissioner.
No, not that it matters, thank you, Mr. Chairman, not that it matters. Where is this? I'm familiar with where this is.
It's off a Spring Road, and Radcliffe is off of Spring Road.
Okay,
It's a long, straight subdivision street.
okay, thank you.
Any more discussion? All in favor? It passed 5-0. Thank you. Next is Public Works requesting the Board of Commissioners to adopt the GDOT procurement manual for the procurement, management, and administration of the engineering and design related to consultant services. Mr. Kerr.
Chester, if you can explain why we want to do that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We receive a lot of grant money from GDOT that's federally. They get money through ARC, and they manage the projects with us. In order to continue to receive that money, GDOT is asking for a letter from our chairman stating that the county will follow their procurement policy, their GDOT procurement manual for procuring engineering services for these, only for these transportation projects that have federal highway money in them.
Thank you, sir. I seek a motion, guys. It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any question? Any discussion? I'm sorry. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you. Thank you, Chester. Discussion, consideration of renewal of Ascension Project Management Task Order Contract. Mr. Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ascension Project Management has been our project manager for numerous SPLOST projects, and his agreement, and for some other projects as well. His agreement with us does expire on January 1st, or I'm sorry, December 31st of this year. And so I'm asking that the board renew that agreement that would run from January 1st of 2022 until December 31st, 2023. Mr. Prine has done a good job managing those projects. He's also saved us considerable money and has done an excellent job of making sure that we got quality projects for the amount of money that we had to invest in those projects. So I would ask that the board renew this agreement.
Thank you, sir. Guys, I seek a motion, please. Thank you. Can I get a second?
Excuse me.
Who's second? Commissioner Cowell. It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Cowell. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you. Item number 19A, First Amendment for the design build of Ariel Cousin Alumni Association Center and Washington Street Community Center. Mr. Kerr.
Mr. Prine is here tonight. I'm going to ask that he come up to explain the change order to you.
First, I'd like to ask that the Washington Street Community Center team, if y'all would stand up tonight. It has been such a pleasure working with them over the last couple 3 months. We basically put out an RFP for a design builder. Sunbelt won that contract. Their initial scope was to come up with a design and an estimated cost for construction. We've been working with the Washington Street Community Center and their team, working down their priorities. And so tonight, what we're bringing forward to you is a request to amend their contract, Sunbelt, to enter into a guaranteed maximum price to complete the highest priority of work that the Washington Street Community Center team is asking for. And so that's what we're asking for tonight.
Thank you, sir. God, I seek a motion, please. It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The question what is that highest priority, since I haven't been kind of working over through that way, what's the high priority of work that you were referring to?
Yeah, okay, good question. So basically what we're doing is we're doing renovations to the main building. So we're putting on a new roof, we're putting in new mechanical units and upgrading the lighting systems to LED lights throughout the building. We're painting, if I need to slow down, tell me. Okay, we're painting the inside of the building. And we're upgrading the plumbing fixtures in the public restrooms. And the only thing that on their list that we weren't able to fit within the current budget was the expansion and renovation of the kitchen, but we are developing a plan and a budget for that, and that will give them something to kind of start raising funds for the additional portion of that as well.
I think that is an excellent idea. I mean, and hopefully move forward with it.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Thank you. Any more discussion? All in favor? It passed 5-0. Thank you so much. Next is item number 20, approval of resolution 110222021, resolution of the Newton County Board of Commissioners to approve the amended and restated intergovernment. Yes, sir. That was all together, sir.
I just had just one comment. It's the old T.K. Adams building, which will be named after Mr. T.K. Adams. It is for the Afro-American Historical Society, probably the wrong name that I'm probably using. In the Alumni Association, Reverend Harold Cobb, who is the president or the spokesperson for that particular Alumni Association, he had requested, I think Demond was at Reverend Smith when he was living over at the Ministry Union, and he had said that he wanted a room, R-O-O-M, room, within the Ariel Cousin building so they could meet in. And so during the conversation with former County Attorney Megan, when she came around and talked to us all, it was just what we had told her what those rooms was going to be for. We told her for the additional room for the Alumni Association. We told her, and she wrote down and agreed to, and I thought we all agreed to it, a certain thought we agreed to it, for the gym to be an early voting precinct, and that the storage room on down Cousins on the front of the building would be a storage facility for the equipment that, for the voting machine that had to be in controlled atmosphere. We also went on, and I wrote down, like, sent all of us a letter of what we discussed, and we agreed on the compromise in lieu of the $5 million that we all asked for, was for there to be a plaque that cost about $20,000 in memory of the Black Easter March from Ariel Cousins, historic Ariel Cousins School to the square. There was supposed to be a plaque there commemorating where it started from, and also a plaque on the square. And I think lastly, if my memory serves me right, we were supposed to clear off the field over at Nelson Heights, so that we could clear out the field, so that at some point, if we could, was still in office and we had the funds to build a football / soccer field / track field for our community. The community which I'm referring to for when we're going to be out of contest, is for Newton County, because we have no type of track club or track meets here in our recreation department. So I'm requesting that because Megan is no longer here, that the plan that we agreed to is still followed through.
Thank you, sir. Item number 20, approve of resolution 11022021, resolution of the Newton County Board of Commissioners to approve the amended and restated intergovernmental contract, a revenue sharing agreement for Stanton Springs and Stanton Springs North. Mr. Patrick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Board, as you are aware, in 2004, the county entered into an agreement with Jasper County, Morgan County, and Walton County to deal with the distribution of property taxes coming out of the Stanton Springs Industrial Park. What has happened since then is there has been a new addition to Stanton Springs, which is referred to as Stanton Springs North. That new phase is located mostly in the city of Social Circle. So what we needed to do is amend the 2004 agreement, which was actually amended again in 2016, but we need to amend it further to grab the new Stanton Springs North section, and because there's a new governmental entity involved, Social Circle, we need to renegotiate and rework the tax allocation. The tax allocation under the original agreement called for Newton County to receive 37.5% of the tax revenues. Newton County will continue to receive that amount on the original portion. What we're doing on the new portion is spinning off 5% of the revenue to Social Circle, and all of the other jurisdictions, Newton, Walton, and Morgan, and Jasper, are all contributing a portion of that 5. So for Stanton Springs North, which is the new addition, the tax allocation will call for Newton to receive 35.625% of revenue instead of 37.5%. That's a reduction of whatever that difference is, which is shared among all of the jurisdictions. So this resolution will be presented to all of these other governmental entities. It has been reviewed by both the Tax Commissioner's Office and the Newton County Board of Assessors offices, and neither of those entities have any objection.
Thank you, sir. Got Commissioner Edwards? Let's get a motion on the floor first.
So moved, as stated by the county attorney.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Discussion, Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, just for clarification, and I want to make sure I heard you right. The existing tenants in the original Stanton Springs footprint, that tax allocation for Newton County does not change.
That's correct. The original development, I think, was 1,528 acres. And this agreement does not touch those 1,528 or whatever it was. The new acreage is about 660 acres, and this new allocation only applies to the new 600 acres.
And if I heard you correctly, the new allocation for Newton County after the 5% spinoff is shared by all entities is 35.625%.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any more discussion? All in favor? Pass 5-0. Thank you so much. Next is item 21, discussion, consideration of county manager contract. I guess I seek a motion, guys.
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you. Make a motion to renew Lloyd Kerr's contract at an annual basic salary of $155,000 a year.
Can I get a second, please? It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Cowan. Any discussion? Commissioner Sanders.
I just have a quick question. Lord, once an in-house attorney comes into play, what I was informed was some of those duties that you currently have will be part of the in-house attorney. Am I correct? The HR and the finance person?
Not that I'm aware of. That would
Okay.
still remain under my
Okay.
under my authority.
Okay. The issues I have with the contract, I think we need to go over it more in detail, because the contract does not actually puts Newton County at certain risk. And the reason why Newton County does not have any, I wouldn't say jurisdiction, my attorney over here can probably give us a better word, terminology. If Mr. Kerr does not perform the duties based on the county sees fit, Georgia's an at-will state, then we really will be at risk if we happen to terminate Mr. Kerr. We will have to pay out his entire salary. Just give you some of the information. I don't think the citizens are aware of what's in the contract. The one that we currently have of $140,000. The county pays its full health and dental insurance premium. We pay life insurance benefits equal 2 times the employee's annual salary. Short-term disability occur leave at the rate of 6 weeks per year, and sick leave occur and carry unlimited hours of annual leave time and sick leave time. Granted 120 hours of additional leave upon execution of this agreement, maximum of 1,200 hours, which is a expense of the county. If terminated, employees shall be compensated for a regular occurred annual leave, any additionally occurred annual leave, and sick leave. Employee receives $500 allowance and an automobile. The county pays 50% of the employee's annual salary to employees' 401k account. The county pays professional dues and subscription. If terminated, pay monthly salary in greater percentage. Severance pay if terminated. COBRA insurance. Also, he receives an appraisal every year. Did we do one in 2020? Was there one done in 2020?
Yeah, we did.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead,
Mr.
sir.
Chairman, that's not the current contract.
We're gonna get.
That's the one that I was sent. I asked for your current contract, and it has the edits from our past attorney, Megan Martin on it.
That's not the one we gave
Okay,
out.
so can
in
I get
executive
that one so
session.
I can read that?
That's not the one we gave out in executive session.
No, I'm speaking on the one that we currently have now. I know that's not
No.
the current contract. I'm speaking of the one that we currently have now,
Mhm.
even with the current one increasing from $140,000 to $155,000. There's nothing
only-
that states that really
the-
assess why.
I believe the one that you're reading from was with the list of benefits was the initial contract that I received in 2016. The one, it was renegotiated in 2018, and some of those benefits changed.
Can we get Amanda up to read what the current contract is? The one that we're proposing tonight?
You got it?
I have it.
Our county
Thank
attorney,
you.
the county
Thank you.
attorney have
Thank
it,
you.
yes.
So-
Can we read that one, please?
I will try to go through and hit the high points. So the original contract was entered into January 2019. It was a 3-year contract which expires January 1, 2022. Compensation is an annual base salary of $135,000. The contract requires a market study of the county manager's salary every 2 years, beginning July 1, 2021. The county agreed to adjust the salary if the salary study determines that the salary is below the market rate. The county provides health and dental insurance, and the manager pays the premiums just like all the other employees pay in premiums. The county puts pays for a life insurance benefit to be provided under the county's current benefit provider equal to 2 times the employee's annual salary, and pays the required payments for short-term disability coverage under the current county benefit. Personal leave accrues at the rate of 4 weeks per year. Sick leave accrues at the same rate of all other employees. The manager is entitled to accrue up to 750 hours of annual leave and 720 hours of sick leave time. Should he be terminated, then he is compensated for his accrued annual leave and sick leave time. If he should retire, he would be paid his accrued annual leave and sick leave time. The county provides either a vehicle or a $500 allowance in lieu of providing a car. If the manager accepts the vehicle instead, then there's no obligation to pay the $500 monthly payment. The manager is entitled to a retirement benefit wherein the county contributes 7% of the annual salary to the manager's 401A account. The county pays for professional dues and subscriptions necessary for the continuation and full participation in national, regional, and state organizations, reasonable travel and subsistence expenses for official travel, reasonable travel and subsistence expenses for courses and educational seminars, a cell phone, laptop, and/or iPad, and the employee can be terminated by a supermajority of the vote of the board. And in such event, the county would maintain for 9 months his annual salary and all of the insurance benefits I mentioned above. If he is terminated because of a conviction of any illegal act, then there'd be no obligation to pay any severance. Let's see. The employee is entitled to COBRA coverage just like any other departing employee is, but the only difference would be the county would pay the COBRA premiums for 3 months. And those are the big points within the contract.
And my question is, just for clarification, if the county does not see the county manager as a fit for this job, or something does occur where he's not performing the duties, and I'm just talking about the title of the county manager, what are we obligated if we happen to terminate that person in the middle of their contract?
If you were to terminate the employment prior to the end of the contract, you would have a 9-month severance payment.
So we have to pay that person 9 months?
Right. If you simply don't renew the contract at its expiration, there would be no severance.
Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess the question I'm asking, I would like to know, who wrote that contract? Who approved that contract?
The Board of Commissioners approved the contract
Give the names.
in January of 2019.
How was the vote? What was the vote?
I don't know what the vote was.
Well, I can tell you I didn't vote for it.
I don't have any
I
record.
can tell you that.
Any more discussion? Commissioner Sanders.
For any person who we select to put in this position, that contract definitely needs to be actually edited. It does not protect the county at any cost. If there is a case where there has to be, that person is not a fit, whether it was me sitting as a county manager, the taxpayers are gonna be paying out of their pockets regardless, which will actually deter you from actually removing someone from that position because you don't wanna pay out their contract. It's gonna cost the taxpayers so much money. The contract alone does not protect the county.
Thank you, ma'am. Any more? Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, it's sad for us, you know, as commissioners, that you have commissioners who are no longer here, who sit in a room and wrote a contract out, and who are not here, and yet it's the taxpayers and the ones who are left here having to deal with it. And then you don't even put your name on it. They don't write your name down, so who did it? And you think that everybody possibly up here was the one, and especially me, who may have approved it. And I'm saying it all just being transparent, and being transparent to saying that there was a contract made, didn't even know what it was. It was just brought back, and it was did. And so that's the downside or the dark side of government, when you can go out and write contracts in a room, come back, and it's approved without even having a conversation with your constituents.
Thank you, sir. Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? The contract is not renewed. Guys, back in 2016, when I first came in office, back in 2016, when I first came in office, I think we had like $3 million in one account and $3 million in another account. Being new to the board, didn't know a whole lot about how much money we should have in accounts. I asked the chairman in Walton County, Kevin Little at that time, how much they had in their accounts. And Kevin Little stated they had over $24 million in their account. And then shortly after that, after speaking with ACCG, who is an association that kind of governs the counties, they informed me that we should have at least 4 to 6 months operational money in our savings and cash reserve. And at that particular time, we had nowhere near what we needed to operate, even if something happened for a month and a half. We wouldn't be able to pay our bills. And over a process of time, 5 years later, somebody said that's not a long time, and it's not a long time. To have close to, I think we got close right now, close to 6 months of operational. 5 months. Is it 4? 4.5? It's more than 4. It's close to 5 operational funds. And that's because of Mr. Kerr's leadership. That's because of I didn't interrupt you. That's because of Mr. Kerr's leadership. I can tell you this: if you don't like the form of government, then you change the form of government. The way the form of government reads right now, the chairman is the CEO of the county. The county manager is the chief operation officer of the county. You can laugh all you want. If you don't like it, change the form of government. But this is the thing. This county is in better shape now than it's ever been in the history of this county. You look at our credit rating. You look at the credit rating. The credit rating is in better shape than it has ever been. Pull the records, do open record requests. But I'm not going to go on, but I am going to say I am going to veto that tonight.
We already knew that.
That's fine. Ma'am, we don't, ma'am, we're in the public meeting. We don't do that. I'll be what you want me to be, but I'm gonna veto that tonight. And, be it may. And that's that. I will send my veto to you guys in writing. You'll get it. Thank you. So that will go back on the next agenda, the first meeting in December. Thank you. Next, the alcohol, yep. Alcohol beverage license, final reading. Barjane Group LLC, Valero Food Mark, 11280 Brown Bridge Road, Covington, Georgia, 316. Mr. K. Patel, final reading. Final reading, SM Pony Express, Inc., 1820 Highway 11, Covington, Georgia, 314. Owner, Mr. N. Patel, final reading. Next item on the agenda is citizen comments. You may come at this time, state your name and your address for the record, please. You have 3 minutes to do so. I mean, we can. You want to vote on the final reading?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Barbara Fairman. I live at Woodland Ridge Circle, Covington, Georgia. Once again, I'm here to complain about the alligators that are about a mile away from my home.
Can you state your name again, please?
My name is Barbara Fairman, Fairman. Now, as serious as it is, I am a mile away. In addition to that, there is Newton High School that is directly across the street from this lady, and also a person who is grazing cattle directly across the street. I'm about a mile away from that. Now, I'm quite sure none of you would want alligators in your community. So why do you think I should be having them in my neighborhood? That is very serious, and I don't know if you know how fast alligators do run once they're let loose. This is a residential area. It is not a farmland or a zoo, and they should not be in that type of environment where there are so many children. If this alligator gets loose, there's 3 of them, I believe. These alligators should not be allowed to be in this community. There are zoos, there's the aquarium, you can go look at them. And maybe some days you can go pet them. But I do not feel safe with these fools you're allowing this to happen. If you allow it to happen in my community, it can happen to you too. So you might need to consider this is a serious matter of children who are going to school to get an education. If the alligator gets loose, they will have a field day just chewing away at them. Now think about yourself and having to go and do something and allow this to happen in your community. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will be at every meeting to voice my opinion. I'm this serious about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next. Next, please.
Ann Newhurl, Ivan Circle, Covington. First, I apologize for breaking the decorum. Mr. Chairman, you were correct, I was not. But I also want to thank you for standing up for doing the right thing. I really appreciate your efforts. I know it's difficult, your job, and you made the right decision according to this citizen. Additionally, I am concerned about the conversation about having commissioners have say over federal funds individually. I don't know if we need to, but we might need to check with our bonding companies to see if that kind of responsibility is covered. I know that sometimes in the past, we've had difficulty even getting a bonding company for some commissioners. So I worry about the county's liability there. So thank you for all you do, all of you, and Mr. Kerr, I'm glad you're staying. We need you.
Anyone else? Thank you, ma'am.
My name is Susan Cooper, and I'm from the Laklieshia subdivision. I was told by Mr. Shepherd to come and talk to Mr. Henderson. He said he had spoke to him about the problem. And the problem is that I've been living in this subdivision for 10 years, and now when Century got the okay, I was here that night when you gave them the okay to build in the subdivision. And the three, Mr. Myers St. John and his partner, told us right out by the elevator that we would not have to pay HOA dues because we were there first. And I've been living there 10 years. So now the HOA seem to be harassing me every day, saying that they charging me $25 a day when I don't join and when I don't do this. So I was supposed to speak to Mr. Henderson. So if you need further information, my son can come up and speak to me because I have a hearing problem. Can I call him up to continue talking? I have a hearing problem.
If you stay right after the meeting, I'll speak with you, and we'll see what we can do.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
I'm Alicia Brown. This is not about being personal or people don't like somebody or all that. It's about citizens. It's about community. It's about what we need. It ain't about, oh, I don't like that. Y'all need to cap that. What I'm seeing is that with Mr. Kerr's renewal, we need to consider the fact that Mr. Kerr does not write grants. That was a big part of all the monies and things we needed to do things in our districts. I would like to add, since you vetoed it, that we look into adding that. He or have someone, let's revisit that issue about the grants so that we can supplement and not take so much from the county and have the grant situation underway. We need to revisit that. There's also issues of things that were done under, you may not have done them personally, but done under your tutelage. There's money that was missing, I believe 11 million. Or something like that, missing, or I don't know. True. I'm just saying. And taxes not being paid, certain areas, or people not paying their taxes. Okay, but and it's not, again, it's not about anybody not liking you. So all the, it's not that. But we need to get serious about this thing. It's about citizens. It's about people. It's not about, these hang-ups and all these things that you all are experiencing, the not getting along with each other. We are suffering in the community. You all come and go. You come and go. We still here. And we're suffering at your hand because you can't get together and work. Knit it together like a fine, nice quilt that keeps you warm. We need the help. It's not about, As the lady said earlier, what'd she say? I forgot. About all the stuff about, well, I forget what she said, but anyway, it's just not all about the mess. It's just a bunch of mess. We need you all to work together. We need things done. There was a lot of things done, you know, under Mr. Kerr's tutelage. When Nancy was here, I'm not afraid to say her name, that was wrong. That happened to us. Okay, we need to get some stuff fixed.
Thank you, ma'am.
$2 million that was spent in Fairview subdivision for the park, and the only thing over there is a swing set and a little bitty covering. $2 million.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we need to get things underway. This is ridiculous. Y'all need to get together, mend your fences, fix things.
Thank you. Thank
For
you, ma'am.
District 3.
Thank you, ma'am.
For District 4. For District 2. 1. All the districts. We need to fix things. Okay? Nothing. It's not about not liking somebody.
Ms. Brown, thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Susan Jackson, 110 Wisteria Boulevard. And I'm want to speak on agenda 21 topic, then number 21. It's regarding Mr. Kerr's continuation of his contract. I want to say like this, maybe we do or we do not know the duties of a county manager, what they're supposed to do on a daily basis. They are supposed to supervise the day-to-day operations of the county, oversee hiring, firing, departments, budgets, things of that sort. I want to say thank you for getting us out of the dark. As you mentioned, we have reserves, things of that sort. There's been some strides. However, anybody who's an entrepreneur or a business owner, the best manager you have is a manager that you don't have to keep knocking on the door and saying, did you do that? Did you fix this? You want a manager that who's a solutionist and comes up with ways, innovative ways, smart ways, thinks outside the box, knows when to ask for help, who is intelligent, able to articulate their ideas and come up with new concepts and how to move us forward. The interactions that I've had with him personally, nothing nasty, anything like that, but I've had to repeat myself on simple things. One simple thing is let's keep our county clean. Now, if we've been talking about this, keeping the county clean since 2016, 2017, 2018, and we're in 2021, and you reported early, we're still having all of this trash, something's not right. I'm gonna talk to the manager and say, sir, for the last 5 years, we've been having this problem. You mean to tell me you can't think of some type of solution to fix this when there's money thrown out? And I appreciate the money saved on the utilities, all of that. However, this is the issue that this one squeaky wheel keeps talking about that. Let's save the county money. How can we do this? You know what? I researched a little town, Griffin. They don't have a problem with signs or trash. You know what they do? They find the mess out of people who do it. They execute it. They said this was enough. And when you go through their beautiful town, you don't see the trash. They had a problem. They came up with a solution. No way, no way, no way. I don't appreciate that you vetoed that. We all knew it, but you know, because that's your character. However, I say no. Do not renew the contract at all. And if we have to, there needs to be some definite stipulations in here because we're not getting the results from an effective manager.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Anyone else? No. Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be brief. something the county manager said tonight in terms of when he did his report was so many X number of children participated in fire safety, some fire safety education, and it got me to thinking. You know, we hear people, and we hear the county manager's report, we hear the chairman's report, we hear people parade in front of us all the time, and we lose sight of the fact that the village is raising the kids. You can't raise the kids without the village, and I don't know how that old saying goes exactly, but there's so many inputs, so many volunteer organizations. We have Washington Street, we have Nelson Heights, we have the civic organizations, we have our schools, we have the fire department teaching kids fire safety. We have them watching us as leaders of a community. And I just want to tell all of those inputs how much I appreciate them, because they're shaping my kids as well. My kids are grown, but I still consider them kids. And they grew up in these systems. They grew up in these churches. They grew up taking classes in the fire safety from the sheriff's department in the anti-drug movement. So I just want to stop and pause for a second and state my appreciation for all those inputs in our community, because parents alone, it pains me to say this, parents alone can't raise the kids. That's just not possible anymore. It takes the community, and I feel like we have a great community, and I just want to say I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to reiterate what I spoke upon about in our 6 o'clock special call meeting. Did want to just bring more awareness to the initiative that I started with our Unsheltered Job and Housing Initiative. Currently working with our VP of Education at Georgia Piedmont Technical College, or Economic Development, I'm sorry, at Georgia Piedmont Technical College, as well as our Director of the Housing Authority. What the objective is of this initiative is to really help reacclimate our unsheltered back into our community. And so with that being said, what we've done as of September 1st, we had our very first information meeting at Georgia Piedmont Technical College. We currently have 6 of our unsheltered individuals that are going through a 5-week or a 15-week training program. Once they complete that training program, they will immediately be placed with an actual company that is here in Newton County, awaiting for them to actually complete training. Then once they actually start generating revenue, what the objective is to work with our housing authority to find places here in Newton County where they can actually obtain affordable housing. We do know that right now affordable housing the product is slightly limited, and even the pricing can be high when it comes to affordable housing. I currently am the vice chair of the Community, Economic, and Workforce Development for NACO, which is the National Association of Counties. So I sit as the vice chair of that steering committee, so I get an opportunity to hear what's going on all around the United States. And this was one of the programs I brought to them. So we're going to start working to see if we can actually implement this all across the United States. So that's an amazing program. And then secondly, we did have Ms. Susan Jackson. She came up, talked about cleaning. One of the things that I've also started cleaning our community is the Newton Cleanup Project. So I've started that project as well. Every single month, we get together, and myself and some volunteers, and we go around and we clean up different parts of District 2. The last cleanup that we did last month, we had 40 tires, 11 bags of trash, and we were going to continue to do that. And I'd like to encourage my fellow commissioners, join in on this Clean Up Newton project. I've started a Facebook page, the Clean Up Newton Project. You can go there, you can see the photos that we've done in the past, the cleanups that we have done. If anybody wants to clean up or volunteer in their district and they want to share those photos, feel free to do that. I think it's a way to help encourage our community to kind of help volunteer to take charge and keep our community clean. So that was all I had. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Sanders.
I normally don't take my time to speak on county issues, but I am today. The fight is not at the local level. The fight is at the state level. And tonight, it showed that commissioners don't have a say-so in dealing with personnel within this county. Now, I'm not talking about Lloyd personally, as Lloyd as a person, wonderful person, spoke to him on many occasions. But as a county manager, I have seen Lloyd actually talk to certain citizens, being insensitive as of last night, say certain things that were insensitive to the community. I have seen certain things that have not been done, you have to remind them. The contract does not support our county. It does not help or protect our county. The taxpayers will pay more money out of their pockets. And you are right, Mr. Chairman. The fight is at the state level, changing the veto powers, changing your enabling legislation to make sure that when you have 3 commissioners up here making a decision, that it sticks, that no one comes here and make that change. When you have a majority of a board saying that they are not representing our districts, are not representing certain parts of the county, that should never change. So you are right. We take that to our state senators. We take that to our representatives. We don't fight on a local level. You take it to another level. To me, no does not mean no. It means go beyond the power that's on this level and go above and change what needs to be changed. So I'm not going to say much, but I will make sure that we have this enabling legislation changed to where it fits Newton County and fits those that are representing this board. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. C. You know, first of all, I just want to apologize to Commissioner Sanders. I want to apologize for her being disrespected from the very first part of the year to now. And that I wasn't, and when I thought about it, man enough to say, hey, let's treat her the same way we would treat any other commissioner. At the first part of this year, she was voted in by this board, at least the majority of this board, to be vice chair. And not once has she got recognized as the vice chair of this board. Not once. She's been disrespected, bypassed, and talked about on many occasions because she just spoke about or talked about what was in her heart. So I just want to apologize to her because I was raised better. I was raised by women, my grandmothers, and I was taught to respect all women and treat them as equals as to a man. I also want to take this opportunity to once again to apologize to Ms. Sharon Henderson, the elected representative, who this board got up because she was saying we need to spend this money on our homeless people and people who are in need. They got up and left her in the room. So is this the way we treat women, or is this something new? I may not like what you're saying, but at least I would respect you. I would respect you. God knows I would respect you, anybody, even if I didn't like what they were saying. And it's been a very disrespected board to women, and it shouldn't be that way. And last, I just want to say this. In order to know where you come from, in order to know where you're going, you got to know where you come from. And I'm telling you, most of us, well, I said me, came from the sharecroppers farm. Little boy, didn't have anything. Grandfather didn't have a good education, at least not good as mine, and mine may not be all that. But I was taught to treat people the way I wanted to be treated. And so I'm just going to say this. I think we need to pray for, let's pray for our chairman, let's pray for our county manager, and let's pray for all of us. Let's pray.
Hey, guys. Hey. Thank you. Commissioner Cowell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've sitting there, been listening to conversations and everything, and of course we've got a multitude of issues out there. I think, though, the young lady that came up here and said we've got to be in unity is critical for us to think about. And I hope that the board, as we evolve, and we are evolving, none of us are perfect. I've never definitely not met a perfect politician. And I know I'm not. And I apologize last night for getting angry and walking out because I just had more than I could handle. But I think we need unity, and I do respect each and every commissioner out here. I hope that we're putting forward the right message to the public. We're not perfect, and this is not an easy job. I worked in government for over 25 years as an administrator, and I practice law now. Quite frankly, it's easier to be somewhere than right here. There are other jobs that are easier, and you think, well, practicing law has got to be tough. Not compared to this. This is tough. And each one of us has a difficult decisions to make. They're hard to make. I understand everybody's feelings. I have been good about that. Again, though, I just hope that our board realizes that the one thing that we've got to have is unity. And I hope that we continue to work toward that direction. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Kerr?
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to take a minute and say thank you, sir, for your support. And I wanted to thank Commissioners Cowan and Commissioner Edwards for their support, as well as all of the numbers of people who sent me texts tonight and who called today to wish me luck, and I appreciate all of that. So thank you, sir.
Thank you. Nothing else. I think a motion that we adjourn. It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. All in favor? It passed 5.